Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Ayo. Yes, let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, Buhari kickstarts oil drilling in North as $3 billion Kolmani River oil wells takes off. Northern governors, Tinubu, others upbeat, urge operators to learn from Niger Delta mistakes. New discovery to add 1 billion barrels, 500 billion cubic feet of gas to national reserves. Facility expected to produce 120,000 barrels per day. House refinery, fertilizer plant. Yes, President Buhari clearly taking credit for this, thumping his chest, and you cannot fault him for that. After many years of exploration of, exploring for oil in many parts of the north, the Chad Basin and other basins, now the basin along the Kolmani River to start producing
The Gongola Basin.
Yes, the Gongola Basin along the Kolmani River to produce oil at last. And in terms of contribution to the daily production, if we hit that 120,000 barrels per day, of course, that will make a lot of difference and a lot of improvement towards meeting our OPEC quota. That is, barring any disruption. We hope security issues have been taken care of, because we're talking about the northeast, where we still have insurgency, terrorism, and, of course, ISWAP holding sway in many parts of that region. Now, at a time, investments in oil, crude alternative, hydrocarbon alternative, seem to be the way to go for other oil companies of other countries. Well, to be able to attract that kind of investment, which we are talking about $3 billion, is huge into this project. But other newspapers are also reporting this story. The Guardian newspaper, oil drilling begins in Gombe Bochi with 1 billion barrels oil, 500 billion cubic feet of gas. Now, Buhari orders NNPC to step up oil search, says Kolmani project attracted $3 billion investment. Silver carry drum support for exploration across inland. Yes, of course, the NNPC Limited will be having a lot of money to pump into this, because by going by the PIA, 30% of its revenue can go into this kind of exploration. Although experts have cautioned that committing so much of your revenue into exploration in these basins is not the wisest of decision making in the oil industry. But that is what we have in the law, and that is what will continue to prevail until there's a change in that law. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, oil in North, Kolmani drill attracts 1.33 trillion investment, Buhari, while the Daily Independent newspaper, we have attracted $3 billion investment to oil gas sector. Buhari flags off first crude oil drilling project in Bochi, Gombe. Now, other stories. The Punch newspaper, 6.5% interest rate. Private sector predicts factories shut down. Higher bad loans. CBN interest rate hike will increase manufacturers' 5 trillion naira debt. Monetary policy tightening will worsen inflation, says Nasima. Now, the CBN, after the NPC meeting yesterday, raised the benchmark interest rate from 15.5% to 16.5%. Now, CBN Governor Emefiele, saying, well, it's also meant to curb the inflationary trend. Really, private sector, they are crying out that factories will be shut down because loans going up as a result of this increase in interest rate. And of course, Nasima saying that in fact it will worsen the inflationary situation in the country. And of course, the citizens will be worse for it if that were to happen. Of course, the Yule Tide is just around the corner. Even in normal times, prices of goods go up during Yule Tide. Transport fare go up during Yule Tide. So Nigerians should brace up for some tough Yule Tide period. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, PDP crisis, IBB, GEJ, move to reconcile Atiku. Atiku's meeting with ex-president, fruitful PCC source. Pro-Atiku group chides Jang, G5 governors over stance on Ayu. Yes, Chief Olabode George, chieftain of the PDP, has been on this program. According to him, the door is open. According to the integrity group, they keep that door open, which means they want reconciliation. How to placate them? Zero-sum demand as Ayu must step down. If Ayu fails to step down, what will happen? Are there other ways to placate the integrity group? Chief Bode George did not mention that, but he talked of 1 to 6 positions. What are the positions that are still available? When they win, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Senate President. If they zone all that to the south, will that placate the integrity group ahead of the election? But it's like counting your chickens before they are hatched. But efforts to resolve that issue clearly on, because according to the report, Nyesom Wike met with IBB in Minna. Of course, Atiku Abubakar also met with IBB. And Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who has been on shuttle diplomacy, trying to resolve crises in other countries, a member of the PDP, the last time I checked, is also part of those trying to reconcile Atiku and Wike. Will he succeed? But the Nation newspaper is reporting why Jonathan won't back Atiku by Wike. PDP candidate humiliated ex-president in 2015. Well, that bitterness, if indeed he was humiliated, Ruben, you should know, is Jonathan still bitter against Atiku? Well, we'll see whether Jonathan is indeed trying to intervene and bring peace, unity to the PDP, the party that he rode on to become the president of this country. Now, the foreign newspapers, quickly, the Times of London. Big rise in gambling addictions. Clinics, hospitals see suicidal young men. NHS lambasts predatory betting firms. Yes, these young men who wear different jerseys of various Premiership clubs in the UK, after spending spree on betting, they are in suicidal mood. And they are now giving problem to the NHS. 42% annual rise in demand for NHS gambling clinics, and health bosses are saying that gambling companies should please take care about their predatory instincts of trying to lure young ones to spend their money. But it is a situation, it's a bad situation. 42% annual rise. But there's bigger health issue in the UK. The Guardian newspaper reported doctors warning poverty forcing sick people to keep going to work. Yes, because there's patients who are even given sick leave by the medics, by the GPs. But people are saying, no, I cannot stay at home, I have to work, because of the cost of living crisis in the UK. And Dr. Camilla Harthrop, the head of the Royal College of GPs, is saying that this is a situation that is deteriorating mental health due to financial stress, also part of the problem. Soaring food costs also leading to rise in fatigue, mouth ulcers, weak muscles, because many of the families cannot afford diets with the right nutrients. They can only afford so much. So we're not talking about Nigeria. We're talking about the UK. Rufai, Ruben, and Ayo.
Well, the cost of living crisis is everywhere. It's not just in the UK. And, that report, as well as other reports, have indicated that, in fact, in the United Kingdom, some people are coming down with asthma because they can't afford to pay for, energy.
To heat their homes.
Yes, to heat their homes.
Especially as the winter
some people are now relying on food stamps, and that are not so readily available anymore because inflation is over 11%. The economy of the entire country, Britain, is suffering from from low productivity growth. Let me use a phrase that was used recently, by the CBI, by the head of the CBI, Tony Danker. And there are fears about recession. Some even say that Britain is already in recession. But it's not only Britain that's having that crisis. Clearly, if there is hardship in the world or in a country, the people will bear the cost. We're talking about UK, how about here in Nigeria? Some people have even given up on proper nutrition because things are very bad. A bag of rice now is going up. Okay? Some people are depending on this Black Friday, hoping that maybe the price of a bag of rice will come down during Black Friday. But anyway, I'm just stretching it. But the world faces a crisis. Yeah. And many predictions have indicated that even if there is growth next year, the hardship will continue be there for some time. A little while. But the other story that I find interesting is the story about gambling addiction.
Yes.
And how the NHS is having so many young people who, as a result of gambling, are contemplating suicide. Well, that's in the UK, right? But we have a similar problem here. There's also gambling addiction here, right? All these young boys who do nothing on a daily basis other than palm 1, palm 3, palm 2 from 4. I don't know how they do it. Maybe I'm not using the proper terminology. They are perpetually betting. We have a National Lottery and Gaming Commission, that is supposed to regulate this space. People are looking for the easy way out. People want free money. And what the story from the UK is saying is that it is not given that when you gamble, you will win. And these gambling companies, these lottery companies, they are more interested in their own profit. And that's why the research in the UK is saying, look, these gambling companies should pay more attention to the human costs of their operations rather than the profit that they are pursuing. But of course, the bigger story, Aaron will probably deal with that,
yes.
is Ronaldo leaving Man U with immediate effect.
Okay.
And Saudi Arabia beating almighty Argentina.
I thought that should be the biggest story because it's all
Saudi Arabia
is then the front.
Today
page,
is holiday in Saudi Arabia.
The front page of the Guardian newspaper. The front page of the Guardian newspaper. Lionel Wu. Saudis edge Messi off center stage. In fact, they were just giving too much credit to Messi. Because the Messi we're talking about, the Messi who did not make it to the Ballon d'Or podium. The Messi who is playing in a lesser
good day on the field of play. Messi can be merciless.
Yes.
No.
The Saudi Arabians,
it's not the same Messi anymore.
Only
That's what we don't know.
Rufai talked about Pele of Brazil, so we're hoping for a
bounce. A bounce by Messi.
Just the first game.
But of course.
Don't forget, Cameroon beat Argentina the first game, 1990 World Cup.
In 1990.
Yes.
But it didn't stop them from still going far in the tournament. You remember that Oman Beik goal?
South Korea also beat Spain.
Spain, it didn't stop
everybody
them
was
from going
shocked.
far.
And Senegal beat France.
France, yeah.
Famous victories of the World Cup. I think this should be up there.
Up there.
When it
All
comes to
Absolutely
famous
historic.
victories.
Absolutely.